we had 2 suitcases, one-way tickets, and absolutely no plan. When we left America in the weeks leading up, we had to declutter our lives. And in this video, we're going to be giving you some practical tips on how to declutter your life and things that we wish we would have known during that time. If you're new here, my name is Jessy.
And my name is B. And if you like this video and want more, hit that subscribe button. So in the weeks leading up to our departure date, obviously there is a lot of logistics that one must take care of if you're going to leave your home, and especially if you're leaving abroad. Like, to be honest, this time of our lives was like super stressful. Number one, because we didn't really plan, which we don't recommend. And number two, we were kind of like flying by the seat of our pants. Like, we were
Truly.
we kind of like waited last minute for a lot of things, and I don't recommend that for anyone. Our situation was a little unique. We know that not everyone that, is looking to declutter their life just like sells everything and like gets rid of their life basically. So we're going to give you like a little bit of background on our story and like how we went about this, but obviously you can tailor it to whatever situation that you're in. So I was in a condo, I was renting at the time, and it just turned out that like my landlord was like, hey, I want to sell this condo. Like, you got to find somewhere to go. So it was kind of like perfect synchronistic timing for me. Everything in my apartment was already there. It was furnished. So that was really nice. Like, I didn't have to worry about like, what do I do with all of this furniture? I did, however, have like a lot of like crystals and just like little knick-knacky stuff that I was like, okay, what do I do with this?
Like, where do I even start? I remember kind of being in the same position, being so overwhelmed. I felt like I had so much stuff. I mean, I had a whole home that was an Airbnb, and like that's something that you could do as well if you're like wanting to keep your home to come back to. I can understand how overwhelming it is, and you're like, oh my God, like where do I even begin? And what I did was consciously over time, I gave myself a couple weeks to go over things like, okay, what do I really want to keep? What's bringing me joy? What do I want to come back to? And it really wasn't a lot. And everything like the big furniture, I had an estate sale. So that took a little bit of planning, and I had to, I listed it. I think I just put it on Facebook Marketplace that I was having an estate sale it's only one day. It's first come, first serve. And I had a massive turnout. I had no idea that this was even going to happen, but I had people lining up down my driveway before, probably like 30 minutes prior to when we were going to open the doors. And then I was just like, okay, we're doing this. I'm letting them in. And it was kind of mayhem. Like, people were making piles all over my house of like their stuff that they wanted. And I think there were some challenging moments because it's like, oh my God, I like really love this couch. I really love my coffee table. I really love my bookshelf. But it also brought this like sense of joy that somebody else is getting to love it as much as I did, if not more. And like, they're getting such a deal on it, and like they're going to give it a second life. So it was easier in that sense to let it go and have like a fresh start.
So how to actually declutter your life. I don't know if you're familiar with the book, and then I think that there's like a Netflix series, which I didn't watch, but I definitely read the book, Spark Joy, Marie Kondo, like so amazing. I highly recommend that. But I kind of like loosely used her tips in that. Anything that really brought me joy and like sang to my heart, I kept. But also there's a nuance to that. Like, there were some things also that still brought me joy, but I just like literally couldn't keep because it wouldn't fit in our suitcases. So that's the process where you kind of have to go through and tailor it to be your own. And like I said, if you're, still living in your space, like you're not letting go of your space, then you're kind of in a place where maybe you don't have to let go of as much as we did. But if you are, then that process, that's not lost on me. Like, that can be really difficult. But what made it, I think, more bearable for me was that, like, I sold a few of my things, but the majority of my things I gave away, and I gave away to friends that would like really appreciate like whatever it was. Like I remember I had this really like I'm into creepy things. And so there was this really cool like Jesus painting that I had that I got from like a flea market, and one of our friends like really freaking loved it, and he put it up in his barber shop and like just appreciated it every day. And that brought me so much joy, brought me more joy than having the painting in the first place. So like that can be a really great way to like let your things go. And Justin and I were talking about this before, like giving those items a second life. Like how beautiful is that? So maybe you can look at it that way too.
It doesn't have to look exactly like, what we did. I know we did contemplate at one point having a storage unit, but then we were like, oh, well, I don't know when we're going to be back. And I don't really want to just like leave all this stuff in a storage unit and it's just like collecting dust. And, honestly, by the time we get back, I'll probably have forgotten everything that's even in here. And it's like, why even hold on to things that you're not even going to know that you miss, right? So
That's true. I don't even think I remember like half of the stuff that I gave away because a lot of items we did donate to Goodwill as well. So, but if you're like more in the space where you want to sell your stuff, I recommend doing it earlier rather than later because sometimes like some of the things that you think are going to sell on like Facebook Market, OfferUp, like whatever platform you use, it's just like crickets. And then if you're like doing this last minute, it's like, oh my gosh, like I have all this stuff that I wanted to sell and no one's like taking the bait. So I would recommend doing that like at least a month, if not more, before you actually move.
1,000%, because that was it. We kind of got down to the wire before we left. I felt like it was like crunch time, like I had when I had this estate sale, just to give some perspective here, I think it was like 6 days prior to my house being closed on because I was selling my home. So it was like, I have to get this stuff out. I have to get it sold. And like, I had to come down on the prices of some things, which I didn't necessarily want to do. But in hindsight, I'm so glad that I did. Like, because that was just like, I don't know, it felt really good to help someone else. Like, there was a woman who stopped by who also ran her own Airbnb and she was just starting it, and then like making that connection and giving her some tips on, how to run her own business. And it was just like pretty cool to like give back in that way. So like the aftermath, right? You've gotten rid of all your stuff. You've watched everybody walk away with it. You've sold it. You've got this like little lump sum of cash from like selling all of your things. And I just want to say, in my experience, I have never felt lighter. I never felt lighter. It was just like, oh, I am not responsible for anything except for like myself and like the few belongings that I decided to keep that were really conscious, and it wasn't just like stuff. It wasn't just like holding on to stuff just to have the stuff, if that makes sense.
It totally does. And I had like a really similar feeling. And like this was such a big deal for me personally because if you're anything like me, I used to be, and to a certain degree, I still sort of am this way, but way less than before. Like, I have been very attached to material items, and it was really hard for me to like even get rid of like a shirt that I hadn't worn in years because it's like, oh, what if I would want to wear it? Like it was that sort of thing. And I know a lot of that was rooted in scarcity and rooted in, oh my gosh, if I let this go, I won't ever have it. And, all of this fear-based stuff. So like really like kind of slowly consciously detaching from that that sort of fear was super profound for me. And I knew, like, my soul knew that I wanted to feel this like free, light sort of feeling. And I'm not saying you have to get rid of all of your stuff to feel that way, obviously, but that definitely was my journey. because I remember like a couple of years before we did all of this, I was so touched. I went to this retreat in Costa Rica, and this woman was speaking at it, and she told her story. And she, long story short, she went from like being this corporate top dog woman in Chicago to like being super spiritual, like woman of the land. And like literally, she didn't sell all of her stuff, she literally donated everything. And that was her journey, and it just like had such a big impact on me. I was like, that would be so cool to just like what kind of person does that? Like that just takes a lot. Like that takes a very interesting sort of different human being to just be like, no, like I don't need all, like I don't need it, I don't want it, like here, like this is it. And that's, I did that in my own way, and I made it what felt right for me. And that was like a feeling that it's kind of indescribable. So let us know in the comments below like what your situation is, if you're thinking about traveling and like getting rid of all your stuff, or if you're like keeping your home and just going to travel for a little while and but like still wanting to declutter. Like let us know what your situation is. We'd love to hear.
If you like this video, make sure you like it, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more videos just like this. As always,
Take what you need, leave the rest, and go love yourself.